Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. And today, we're being joined by Tony Funderburk, author of Bedtime Buckaroos. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. Are you ready to begin?
Certainly.
All right. Question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
I think probably the best thing that I could say to someone is find and build an audience first, and then write for them and to them every day, because writers write. So write every day.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
I would say these days the most difficult part would be if you leave the responsibility of it in the hands of others. But when you take on publishing as, let's say, just simply another part of your writing work, then it's actually a lot easier these days, because the traditional publishing route is fine, but it's not necessary if you go ahead and write every day for that audience that you built and you just keep moving forward.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launch that has worked well.
Well, ironically, I connect my books to my music, and I share that all with my focused audience on my podcast channel. And that's in addition to a little bit of marketing that same sort of way through my social media channels.
Okay. So in regards to that connection, what are some of the main things that you do?
Basically, I'll either come up with the idea for the music first, or I'll come up with the book idea and write the music for it. But I a lot of times will compose sort of like book commercials, they're called, or sort of book trailers, those kind of things. And then I'll play those in the content of my podcast episodes and share that out with the people who are tuned in and subscribed. Got it.
Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know what is your favorite book and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
Well, my favorite book's actually also known as a letter. It's 1 Corinthians in the Bible. And number one thing I learned from it is even if you conquer and you overcome all of life's challenges, even if you do some awesome and amazing things, if you do those things without love, it's basically all for nothing.
And I'd say, why is that? But I think you've answered that pretty clearly.
All right, thank you.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
Well, I guess the quote would come from that too. It talks about how there's faith, hope, and love, but the greatest of these is love.
Got it. Well, Tony, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
It's just my name, TonyFunderburk.com.
Well, Tony, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how to get your book published with a proven system that works, grab a free copy of my book at getpublishedpodcast.com.